Hey guys, I am here at the school greenhouse. There's some really interesting stuff going on here. So I wanted to give you an update about what's going on. So let's go in and take a look. All right, so going into the greenhouse, the first thing you'll notice is we have these big, beautiful watermelon plants growing out of 5-gallon buckets. We've got two varieties growing in here. We've got Sugar Baby and we've got Desert King. And the Desert King is growing slightly larger than the Sugar Baby, and that's to be expected. It's a larger growing breed. One thing to notice is that they have these long vines, and I'm starting to train them to go up the shelving so they have a place to go. So we've got a couple of them that are being trained along these shelves, and eventually they're going to grow up and up and up all through the greenhouse. They're going to take the whole place over. Now, we also have some milkweeds that are not looking so great. They're not dead yet, though. They're pretty tough plants. They should rebound. These are milkweeds at 7th grade, planted in our classroom. And the big question is, what are we going to do now that we have all these milkweeds? Because it would be a shame to just keep them in the greenhouse. They need to be transplanted somewhere. So 7th grade, it's going to be your job to decide what are we going to do with all of these milkweeds now that they've got some water, because there was a period of time when I couldn't get into the school, so they weren't getting water, but they're doing better now. I'm sure they're going to start popping back up again. So what do we do with these milkweeds? All right, we've got a few more things going on here. We've got some Chinese amaranth, and we've got some kale growing in here. And we were going to sell these at the farmer's market, but they canceled the farmer's market, so I don't know what we're going to do with them, but they're in here. And last of all, we've got a few plants that are native to Nevada. We've got some brittle bush that are growing in these pots. And we've got some Mojave asters that are growing in here. And we did have some desert marigolds, but it looks like they have not survived. That's too bad. But we got some Mojave asters and some brittle bush. They're doing great. So the question is, what are we going to do with those? Where are we going to plant them? They're growing pretty slowly right now, so we've got some time to decide with those guys. Now, one thing to think about when we think about these watermelons is, as you'll see in a minute, they are growing much better. They're so much bigger than the watermelons that we planted out in the school garden. And the question is, why? They were planted around the same time, so why would these plants in the greenhouse be doing so much better than the plants out in the school garden? All right, here I am out in the school garden where the wind has really done some serious damage. I want to focus on the watermelons out here in the school garden compared to the watermelons in the greenhouse. So here, let's take a look. As you can see, this watermelon is a Sugar Baby watermelon, but it is not doing nearly as well as the watermelons in the greenhouse. And the question is, why? They were planted around the same time, so why would we have watermelons out here, same kind, Sugar Baby, so small, while the watermelons in the greenhouse are so much bigger? All right, here we have a chamomile plant, also known as manzanilla, and you can see the flowers in this plant are almost ready. They're starting to bloom, and the flowers are where you get the tea from. So the flowers bloom, and they're very sweet, and then you just put them in hot water to make some chamomile or manzanilla tea.